Something for you to think about. When you buy something, so it can be online, you can be in the shops, it could be anything from a cheeseburger to, I don't know, bottom scales. Would you be prepared to round up your payment to the nearest pound for charity? Because that is what lots of people are being asked to do more and more frequently, and big retailers are getting on board on this.
Yes, common method now of fundraising. Ben's been looking into it. I suspect a lot of people, as soon as we're saying this, they go, oh, yes, I remember doing that. You know, I'm at the checkout and that comes in. Presumably, there's quite a lot of money involved. It all adds up.
It does, but this has received a mixed response this morning. It's divided opinion on whether people like it or whether they, in some cases, resent it. But this is basically the modern-day equivalent of those charity collection pots that you used to see by the till. Let me explain exactly what's going on. Now we're using cash less and less. Charities have had to find new ways to get your spare change. We're talking about micro donations. You've probably seen it. It looks a little like this. You scan your goods at the self-checkout and then a message like this pops up before you pay asking for a small donation by rounding up to the nearest pound. And it's becoming quite common. Various retailers are taking part in schemes like this. Supermarkets, clothes shops, fast food chains, even some garages as well. And despite the cost of living crisis, there's been a huge increase in charity donations this way in the last few years. More than 36.5 million micro-donations were made last year. That is up 72% from 2019. Why? Well, research shows that we are more likely to give a little more often. In fact, the average donation is just 23 pence, but it all adds up. Sophie Long has been to see what a difference it can make.
She was super cute.
Maria's daughter Ellie was just 15 when they learned she had Hodgkin's lymphoma, a rare form of cancer.
That's around the same kind of time.
Despite intensive treatment, she died just over 2 years later. But Ellie loved Christmas, and her last one was magical.
It was just a dream come true. It made her last Christmas really special. So her last memory was of that incredible. It wasn't even a moment. It was, you know, it was 4 weeks. After we did that, she actually passed away 4 weeks later. So I think we switched off the lights on the house that day.
Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Make-A-Wish UK, the charity that brought such joy to Ellie and her family, benefits from micro-donations.
The concept of so-called micro-donations is nothing new. Hiya. There used to be a lot more of these about, where you could put your loose change. Now the process has been digitised, so when you pay by card, it'll ask you if you want to make a donation by rounding up. So far, it seems to be having the desired effect and boosting the income of charities who are losing out due to the fact that fewer people are carrying cash.
If every UK adult donated equivalent of a chocolate truffle just once a week, that would be £1 billion of incremental money for the UK charity sector. And that's still only a fraction, a tiny, tiny percent of all the total card transactions. So I believe microdonations is incredibly sustainable, but it's all about choice for the consumers to click if they want to donate.
Others, though, are more sceptical and think the current boost for charities could be a bubble that might just burst.
The danger, I think, is that people start to resent this ask every time they pay for anything. If there's no alternative, if you're going to a petrol station and you need petrol, it just becomes a slight resentment.
There are mixed feelings about micro-donations on the streets of London.
It's annoying. If you want to donate, you donate when you want to, and those just aggravating, adding to my rush to get out of there.
I think it's absolutely fine. It doesn't impact my life whatsoever. Yeah. I think it's a nice cause, and if you're up to it, like, go for it.
And if you're able to donate, just go for it. I personally donate my own money on my own time for like St. Jude's or whatever, but I typically will never donate in the store.
So cute.
But for Maria, whose family has felt the impact micro-donations can have, they can only be a positive thing.
By Make-A-Wish giving us that moment, it brought us together at a family at the most crucial time of Ellie's journey, and that's something we'll never forget.
Sophie Long, BBC News, London.
Quite a lot of you have been in touch this morning on email and WhatsApp. Margaret in Antrim says she doesn't use the micro donations because They're simply not for the charities that she supports. Someone else says that it is a good thing. It gives them a chance to give a little to some really great causes. Simon in Somerset, although he says he thinks they're a good thing, he wonders who's processing them and feels there's a lack of transparency. Meanwhile, Tamsin in London got in touch to say, I don't need a guilt trip every time I pay ever more for food and products. I donate every month to a chosen charity already. And a really good point from someone saying that they don't do it, not because they have any objection to giving, but they want to be able to gift aid their donations. And if they do it through a micro donation, they can't add gift aid. So the charity's losing out on 25%. They say over time, this could add up. Thank you very much for all your WhatsApps and emails this morning. They are always appreciated. Charlie, thank you.
Always really useful as well.